Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Well, after the weekend in boxing is before the next fight. You know what I told you, it's always who you gonna fight next, what else is going on, when's the next big boxing day. That's how it rolls in the world of boxing. It is like that in sport, right? So, the next big thing that we all been waiting for the whole year has to be Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. We don't have to go through their accolades anymore. You know what I'm saying? Now it's such a mainstream fight that, damn it, you hear about the accolades every time we talk about them. Do we got to tell you, Canelo's a 4-division champion and that Terence Crawford's 2-division undisputed? That's why the fight's big. And I'm pretty sure everybody that you go to tells you that. Damn it, the dudes are awesome. That's why it's an awesome fight. So let's just keep it short. Now, we've heard, people say who gonna win. Most of them saying Terence Crawford is gonna go all the way up there and win. And I was just thinking 2 or 3 people. I said, Joel Diaz, Abel Sanchez, and one other guy, But, somebody wrote in and said, nah, brother, don't forget Shane Mosley, Oscar De La Hoya, and a few others, So it's some people. But all those people, I think we can agree on, the ones that say that Canelo Alvarez is going to win this fight, it's only, exclusively, because it's just a lot of weight that Terence Crawford has to gain, and it's a weight disparity. I think they all agree that Terence Crawford is the most skilled. Now, Amir Khan, the reason why he's so important, Amir Khan fought both of them, right? He fought both of them. And Amir Khan says, he's been getting some, infos from the training camps and stuff like that, but he's fought both of them. He just says, listen, man, I got Crawford. Crawford's just a better boxer, period. He just, kind of keep it. She's just a better boxer, and, he's going to be able to do that too, probably. Now, doesn't matter what I think. I think Crawford is possible to do this, but I understand, what he's up against, right? There's a lot of things that he's up against. He's not up against the fact, is, like I said before, Canelo's awesome. Canelo, had some performance enhancing before, and up until now, I haven't seen that he's been checked before this fight. I just saw that Terence Crawford was checked before this fight. He's not, even though somebody just got popped at his camp, Rodriguez, and I just don't see Canelo coming out saying, hey, they've been at my, at my crib or wherever I was, so I haven't heard that yet. So, and I just, watched how boxing works when it comes to him. I'm not sure he's getting checked, so I'm not sure. So if you're already bigger, skilled, with an awesome defense, upper body movement, probably some of the best you've seen. I've seen Canelo keep his hands down and not get hit by people. I've seen Canelo avoid a jab like from Danny Jacobs. Avoid a jab with his hands down. So Canelo got a left hook to the body, whatever. And Billy Joe Saunders broke his face, basically. So it ain't like Canelo ain't awesome, knocking out a Sergey Kovalev. Now, that was a weak-ass Sergey Kovalev. Everybody, they forget to tell you that because they don't want to tell you that. But he just came off the Anthony Yard hard fight, and he only had a few weeks to recover because Canelo wanted to fight him so bad. It's a long story. Canelo didn't even fight in September. He could have fought Demetrius Andrade in September, but said, nope, I ain't doing that for Undisputed. I'm going to wait for Kovalev, pay him everything he wants. I think Kovalev got about $12 million for that fight. Because Canelo was like, I'm going to pay you because if I fight you, it looks like I'm going there and to be great, and everybody will ignore the fact that I didn't fight Undisputed Demetrius Andrade at 160 pounds. That's what that was all about. People tend to forget that, because that's what we call it here, willful blindness. You know what I'm saying? That's what that is. But be that as it may, it's a good fight. And Amir Khan just thinks that your boy Terence Crawford's going to get it done. That's somebody who's been in the ring with both of them. So, But everybody's opinion doesn't matter. They got to fight. But here's something that's scary. Let's get to what I'm talking about. What I thought was scary when I heard this, I was like, damn, that's pretty awesome. There's a lot of things that's being said about Terence Crawford that is awesome. And that's just, like I said, Terence Crawford has won, in my opinion, Because all these things that people are saying that are in the know is what mainstream media wasn't kind of telling you. You know, all you would see is articles about he can't be sold, you know, can't sell the guy, he's not marketable, and all of that stuff, right? And you know what I tell you here is not too many black fighters in New Russia that are marketable, because people are not going to see black guys win fights. Let's just be what it is. If the white supremacists are going to come out and start saying stuff like they're indigenous and that people on January 6th are tourists and stuff, and they're saying it right in your face, you know, let's just get rid of all the crime and everywhere in all black cities, and we're coming in there with people that were on January 6th, right? Now they got jobs at ICE, covering their face up and just going harassing people that are undercover. Do you see anybody from Norway getting kicked out? Sweden? Anything like that? That ain't happening. So whatever. So if that's going to be blatant, then I'm going to blatantly tell you what I'm seeing, right? People don't come watch black fighters win in New Russia, right? So, you know, I won't hit out that he's not marketable and stuff, but that's what we hear. So now you're hearing, because the fight is going on, and, you know, they have to justify Canelo fighting someone 2 weight divisions lower. Now you're hearing a lot of truths about Terence Crawford, and I'm just happy that he's being, you know, that it's being said, because it has to be now, right? So we can't hide what Terence Crawford is. So what's the scary news? You're probably like, man, I ain't wasn't looking at 6 minutes of the video without the scary news. Damn, get to the scary news. The scary news is this. Virgil Ortiz. Now, if you know anything about boxing, you know Virgil Ortiz is a top-rated contender at 147 welterweight, and now at 154. He has a reputation of being a pressure fighter and a hard hitter. I think you would probably even categorize him as a slugger. All right? Now, remember that. He had a 100% knockout ratio until recently, you know, going up against Wojciech with a fight which he probably lost, but he got the decision, which they shouldn't have did that to Wojciech. They should have just went on and just gave it a draw and it'd be good, you know, but whatever. But Virgil Ortiz is all that. He is. He's good. He did a good job against Madrimov, and I don't want to hear, you know, Madrimov was supposed to be real sick on that fight. But, you know, it's always something. You know what I mean? You know, the man looked good against Madrimov. Period. If you're so sick, then don't fight, because you know it's in there. These people saw the fight. Look, Ryan Garcia was dope and overweight, and they don't care. They just say, hey, look, you know, he's beat Devin Haney. So it is what it is. But Virgil Ortiz is known for his punching power and his pressure fighting. Correct? Terence Crawford has a dull fighting style and is not really known for his punching power. They say he might move, right? And he might move around and this and that. Well, Israel Madrimov, right? Who's fought both of them. Israel Madrimov, correct? He says Terence Crawford has more punching power than Virgil Ortiz. I think that's scary. He has more punching power than Virgil Ortiz. Let me tell you why that's scary. Because he has more skills than everybody that ain't named Alexander Usyk or Dmitry Bivol. Right? He got more skills than everybody in the game. That ain't those two guys, because those two guys you can at least argue with me a little bit. Alexander Usyk, Dmitry Bivol, you can argue, because Dmitry Bivol done a lot of stuff, man. I mean, people could, if you ignore what Dmitry Bivol is for a boxer, then you really ain't paying attention. That's a bad dude, man, Dmitry Bivol. He's not don't have all that punching power, but he's done a lot of stuff, man. I just say that we just whitewash Canelo and then follow that up with Gilberto Ramirez, a southpaw with a lot of punch output, tall. That's crazy. So him and Alexander Usyk, who I ain't got to tell you what he's done, you know, those are some other guys with high skill sets, you know, just ridiculously skill sets. But Terence Crawford is known for his skill set. So if you have a skill set on that level and your punching power is more than somebody who's known for punching power, then you're dangerous. Just, you know, it don't matter what you like or whoever you like or what you're going to try to say or whatever. If somebody says he's got more punching power than Virgil Ortiz, then that's dangerous. These guys are the same weight, guys. And he's got all his skills, foot movement, athleticism. Yeah, he's 39 and whatever, or 38. But that's some scary ass news. Now, it's obvious, kind of, because let me tell you why it's kind of obvious, but people just kind of try to ignore this by saying that these opponents are not good. But coming up from 140 pounds going up to 147, right? Think about it. Manny Pacquiao had just fought Jeff Horn, right? Manny Pacquiao's known for his punching power, right? He's known for his punching power, which I would just, beg to differ, because I just saw him and Floyd Mayweather have a problem. This is the same knockout ratio, but people just ignore that too. But that's another story. But Pacquiao's known for punching power. He fought Jeff Horn, couldn't get him out of there. Terence Crawford got him the hell up out of there, right? Ain't nobody stopping Jose Benavidez. Terence Crawford got him out of there late. You understand what I'm saying? Late, right? Mean Machine, the one y'all said knocked him down, Mean Machine, he got him out of there, right? Didn't he? Let me tell you something that was also awesome. So you guys try to act like you don't see stuff. Kell Brook with a right jab was the beginning of the end. Kell Brook from a right jab, a power jab, was out of it. All right? Those are just things you see. Somebody told him he wasn't beating Sean Porter. Wasn't beating Sean Porter in round 10. He goes out there and says, oh, I got to do this to my friend. Damn, I was just trying to, edge this fight out. I wasn't really trying to, hurt my friend, but I got to get him up out of here or something, or, knock him down a few times. And just goes out there and does it on punches that, wasn't totally flush, right? So got him out of there. Amir Khan, whatever. We ain't going to even count him because he's chinny, right? But all of those people, Errol Spence, got him out of there. Errol Spence is, we hadn't even seen Errol Spence really hurt before that. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence wasn't really even hurt before that. And Errol Spence fought people that should have hurt him. Like a Garcia, and a Sean Porter, stuff like that. So Errol Spence, he did that too. So all of those big old welterweights, right, he hurt and knocked out. So his punching power should be, appreciated, should be recognized. But for some reason it's not. And we know what that reason is. Bottom line is, Israel Madrimov, right, another Eastern European that's giving Terence Crawford props, says that he got more punching power than Virgil Ortiz. The other one, Dimitri Bivol, says he's so awesome that he should be on the book for learning how to box. That's what he says about Terence Crawford. Dimitri Bivol. Alexander Usyk says, sorry, I'm not the best fighter. Terence Crawford is. Right? Those are great sources, guys. I would listen to them. Now, be that as it may, we don't know who's going to win the fight. But like I said, yeah, I'm interested in who wins the fight. But I'm enjoying this period right now because I'm enjoying the fact that Terence Crawford is getting his accolades that he deserves. He's been deserving them for a long time. And everybody is vested in this interested in not showing him the respect he deserves, right? And it's really ridiculous because it's like you have all these other fighters that are not doing anything close, but we just refuse to give him his props. So it takes people in the boxing industry to shut everybody who's in the internet that probably haven't boxed, right? The mainstream media, to just say, well, whatever y'all talking about. This is the guy. So yeah, I think that's scary news. Terence Crawford has more punching power than Virgil Ortiz. What do you think about that? I thought that was pertinent. Doma Sports Talk, y'all. Worldwide. And I'm out of here, y'all.